If you enjoy the Low Scale Gaming podcast, please leave us a like, review, and subscribe. Any feedback is welcomed, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome to the Low Scale Gaming podcast. I'm your host, Ghostland's Finest, and as always, I'm joined by Conan Jones and Inferior Mage.
Howdy.
Hello. Good.
Yeah, doing good.
Good.
I think
No context.
I think I sound the least sick of all three of us.
Yeah.
I don't sound sick. What are you talking about?
You sound like you're like Mondo sick, sir.
I'm not sick at all.
Oh.
I just woke up from a nap.
Oh, that's okay.
He's got the sleepy voice.
You'll clear
I'm
out by the time we're done.
I took a 2-hour nap just now. Like, I went to sleep after breakfast or after brunch, and I was just like, you know what? It feels pretty good to take a nap. And then I got a call at like 1:00 from my one of my coworkers, and was like, hey, we were supposed to swap these vehicles at noon, but we both forgot. I was like, oh shoot, what should we do? She's like, oh, it's okay. I'll come and get it at 3. I was like, all right, that works good for me.
What vehicle are you having to swap?
The school SUV.
Oh, because you went to Solo and Ensemble. Okay.
Yeah, because I took kids to Solo and Ensemble yesterday.
Yeah.
That's coming up in both my fails and wins of the week. Don't worry, that's coming.
We'll get there.
I'm like super congested, so I can only imagine how I sound on recording.
I can only. That's that song you sing in church. If you ever,
It is. I know it.
nobody laughed.
Sorry,
feel
you just
bad.
kind of cut out whenever you were singing
Did
that.
I?
So
Oh,
I don't
your
know.
thing.
If it was,
You cut out, not me.
I think it might have been on my end, but
No, I heard it too. Like he roboted it out for a second.
oh,
Yeah, you'll be all right.
we're off to a good start.
We're off to a good start today, boys. Well, Conan Jones, how's your week been?
It's been an interesting week. Like the last full week before contest and the last full week before spring break, and all the kids are checked out at school and the teachers are checked out. I have a pretty good win later that I've already kind of told you about, but we'll discuss it here later. Yeah, just trying to keep going, getting into contests. So
Got 2 more weeks till spring break. So I'm like,
yeah, we've only
when's
got
your
1
spring
week.
break? Do we have spring break the same week?
No, you haven't. I have mine's a week before yours.
So yours is the 11th through the 15th?
That sounds right. Because we have this coming week, and then, and then we're out.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
It's for
11th
the
through 15th.
vacation places, so that way they can get as much money for as many
Yeah.
weeks as possible.
Because I'm out the 15th through the 24th.
Yeah, ours is the 11th through the 15th.
Dang.
I'm not out because I'm not a teacher.
Yeah, rip.
Oh.
The good side and bad side of being a teacher is that you get
Right.
breaks with the kids, but
Hey, man, I like all these. Snow days are just as important to me now as they were when I was a kid. So I'm okay with it.
okay. So
It's kind of the general consensus. I also get snow days though. That is something good.
two sidebars with that. One, yesterday at Walmart, I got all of the Easter candy, and so they had the Starburst jelly beans. So I got me a bag of them. So if you randomly hear me like dump out some jelly beans, that's what I'm doing.
All right, hot take. Jelly beans are gross.
Have you ever had the Starburst jelly beans?
Yes, they're gross.
I guess you're entitled to your wrong opinion, so it is what it is.
All right, so jelly bean, one, they taste like they taste cheap. Okay, I can't really describe it.
I don't know
They
how
just
cheap
taste-
sugar tastes. I mean,
They
that's
just
literally what it
taste cheap.
It's
Okay,
just flavored sugar. That's all it
Okay,
is.
so you know how like cotton candy melts in your mouth? Okay,
yeah,
so jelly beans are kind of like that, where you like chew on them and they just kind of melt, but instead of like melting and becoming like sugar or like whatever, they just become these like sticky, gluey things, and it just tastes awful. Philippines are gross.
All right, so for me, second little sidebar, you guys are getting like all of the weather, and I'm getting like none of the weather.
I actually haven't got any of the. It's like sunny outside right now,
Yeah,
so
like it's just
I'm
really
okay with
cold.
it.
Like I went to go get breakfast earlier, and my computer says it's 23 outside right now. So it's
Let's see
just
what the temp.
really cold, but we're not getting any sort of precipitation. So
Yeah,
it's
Yeah, mine is where I'm at. Like it's like frozen. Like we had to leave early for church because we had to drive slow on the roads because everything was iced. We got snow this morning. We got. It's probably going to rain and snow again today and refreeze. So who knows?
it is 22 degrees outside right now, but it's sunny, and there's no more. For at least for me, there's no more like precipitation coming.
hey,
So I'm
as
okay with it.
yeah, I say as long as we can last until contest is over, like
Yep, it's all I care about, man. Whatever happens on Wednesday, that can happen.
yeah,
But up until tomorrow and Tuesday, dude, I'm
so
so tired. I shouldn't have taken a nap because now I'm just like,
taken.
whatever. Exactly.
Took it a nap.
So now I'm just like really groggy, and I kind of want an ice cream sandwich.
Oh, I stopped and got a frozen yogurt coming back from Brahms coming back last night.
Oh, that's the best.
And it was
yes.
like $1.10 because they're half price because it's 3 degrees outside and no one in their right mind is buying ice cream.
Yeah, that's like their milk is like 2 for $5 right now. It's great.
Is it? Okay, so I kind of goofed. I was making mashed potatoes last night, the instant kind,
Mm-hmm.
and I left the milk out all night. And I woke up this morning, I was like, man, I want some cereal. And I come out, my milk's sitting on the counter,
All
and it's just
soured and
all sour. I'm just like,
Oh no,
I'm bummed out. And it was like a big old half gallon. It was a big old like gallon milk too, but it was like halfway done, but still wasting. I hate wasting stuff.
yeah, for good reason. I mean,
But all right. So let's go ahead and jump into our fails of the week. Conan Jones, my fail of the week is my fail of the week is Solo and Ensemble.
All right.
So, but I have a good win, but I have a good win with it, man. So my so I was gonna take 6 people to Solo and Ensemble. Okay.
Okay.
One of them was ineligible, so I couldn't take him, and he worked really hard in his piece. And I was like, this really bums me out that you can't go because you didn't take care of your business. I was like, I hope you take care of your business to get off of there so you could go to contest on Tuesday. But I don't think he did. And then
have they changed how eligibility works?
No, what do you mean?
Well, because like when I was there, eligibility, like grades got pulled on Thursday, eligibility went to effect, or they pulled on Friday, and eligibility was from like Friday night at midnight until or like Saturday at midnight to Sunday at midnight. It was like a full week.
Oh no, I mean, no, eligibility runs on
runs on what? Sorry,
on Mondays.
Okay, so yours just is on different dates than what I was used to.
Yeah. So hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully they'll get it together for contest.
But then my fail of it is that my 2 seniors no-showed. And I was not happy about it. And I don't know what I could do about it. Because my one of my kids that I took was my principal's kid. And I was just like, what do I do about these 2? He was just like, just go, don't worry about them, we'll worry about it on Monday. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
That's what your principal told you that?
Yeah.
I would say just let him handle it. Like if he already knows what's going down, I guess he come drop his kid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he knows what's going down, I mean, he knows those kids, and
Yeah, but like I've never had issues with these kids.
yeah. So I
That's
mean,
my thing. Is I'm like mad about it because I've never had an issue with these kids at all.
yeah, because I mean,
And
it's
then
probably
just
one of
like
those like lapse of judgments. Like, I just want to. When did y'all leave?
6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some of it's probably they just overslept. So, which
being seniors and all.
not
But
a
I
good
mean,
excuse, but still.
Should I take them to the Heartland Music Festival with me?
let the
Ooh.
principal handle it. I think at that point.
Yeah, I
Uh,
would.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like since they didn't go to that, then I shouldn't take them to Heartland.
Yeah, I would talk with your principal before you get too dead set on something, just
Yeah.
because they'll they might want to handle that a little differently than
Okay.
what you think you might or should. But yeah,
Hopefully they go to freaking contest on Tuesday. If they don't go to contest on, all right, I'm getting myself. I'm shooting myself into a work. I need to calm
yeah,
down.
getting worked up over nothing. Hypotheticals.
Conan Jones, what is your fail of the week?
So my fail this week is like, we go to contest on Tuesday, and I was like, okay, last final run through with everything. Let's record just so we kind of have a baseline to see what we're getting into. And Friday's rehearsal was absolute garbage. Like, they've never sounded that bad. And I was just like, I told him, I was just like, if we perform on Tuesday the way we just did, we're going for fours. Like, that was horrendous. And I'm hoping it's just one of those Fridays, everybody's checked out, everybody's tired. But I was like, your scores are depending on how you perform. We've put the work in, but you have to show up and do the thing. So
yeah,
it's disheartening because it's always the rehearsal right before. You always have to have a really bad run to have the wake up call, and then everything gets better. But it's just like I hope it gets better, and you
yeah.
guys
It's
wake
like
up.
sometimes that doesn't happen. A lot of times it does. Sometimes it's like, oh, they just bad.
Yeah. So hopefully tomorrow they'll have had a wake up call and it won't be as bad. But
They
so
might just need you to like throw a stand or something.
eh, I saved that for
Throw
my
a big
other
old fit.
classes. So, Mage, what's your fail
Get your
this week?
crap together.
Yeah.
All right, Mage. Let's see your fail of the week.
Okay, so my fail is ridiculous. Thursday night, it was going to go below freezing throughout the night, like pretty good below freezing, and our pipes are pretty insulated, but for just in case, I went ahead and turned on the faucets, like just like a trickle kind of thing.
Yeah, just keep the water flowing.
Well, yeah, I did it for our kitchen and our front bathroom because those are the two faucets. Because my brother has access to the back bathroom, but he locks the door and it yeah. So
Okay.
I can't really control that faucet at all.
Yeah.
But so I decided to trickle them. Well, our kitchen sink doesn't drain super well. Like it drains, but it drains slowly. Like I need to snake it out and stuff. But I'm thinking like it's not going fast. It'll drain fast enough.
I want to go fast.
It'll drain fast enough where it won't. But we have some dirty dishes in there, and I guess one of the dirty dishes was like covering the drain or something. Because my dogs bust into my room around 1:30 in the morning, and there's like, like freaking out.
That's a good impression. I like that.
It's like Momo has came to get us.
They're freaking out, and I'm over here like, all right, they just have to go to the bathroom real bad. We let them out before I went to bed, but okay. I'll
Yeah.
go open up the back door.
They have the bladders of Conan Jones.
Yeah.
So
Well, sometimes they do. Like sometimes my dog Bobo, he'll like go out and like, oh, it's cold. I don't want to do anything. Run right back in. I'm like, I'm not taking you out again. And most of the time he's okay, but like he'll come and get me if he has to go to the bathroom. And so that's what I was thinking, because they both come and get me. They need to go to the bathroom, and I'll open the door for them. Well, so I got up and I opened the back door, and they run out. So I'm like, okay, that's it. And I didn't even notice the kitchen.
right.
And but my dog Boba, he's still pawing at the door. Like he ran right back to the door and still like pawing at it. And I'm over here like, I'm not letting you out again, dog. And I open the door, and he's still freaking out on me. He's just like, and I over here look at the kitchen because his head's kind of pointing that way, and like I see this glint, and I'm just like, why is the kitchen shining? And I walk barefoot, by the way, and it's just like there's just water all over the kitchen floor. And nice. I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? Our kitchen sink just overflowed, and it was just pouring onto the kitchen floor. And so I run, I turn it off, and I spent like the next 30 minutes cleaning it all up. Luckily, my dogs woke me up for that because they knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
So
it's like, Mage, wake up.
Yeah, he's like, it didn't cause any damage, but this was still middle of the week. I had to go to work Friday on like 2 hours of sleep because after I cleaned it up, I was like wide awake.
Yeah.
Because I almost like the water was cold, and like I wasn't paying attention to my feet when I was cleaning it. Like I was just like going because I was like, I don't want this stuff to spread out because we have our TVs like pretty close to the kitchen, and I didn't want anything to like break. So I was doing it. I didn't worry about myself, and then I get it done, and like my feet are like I mop and I towel and everything, and like my feet are just like they're numb. I can't feel them, and I'm like, oh, this was a mistake.
Mistakes were made.
So I dove with I got them wrapped up and heated them back up, and like they physically hurt for like the next 30 minutes. Like I almost frostbit my foot.
Good Lord.
Everything's fine now, but that was a mess last night. Like that night.
You should have just let your pipes freeze and not turn the water on.
I guess. I turned it off and I kept it off after that, but
just means you need to do dishes more often.
Yeah, I hate dishes though. Like,
dude, they're awful.
It's the worst.
Do you guys have a dishwasher?
But not worse than getting my kitchen flooded. So, I see your point.
No. Do y'all have a dishwasher?
That's my fail of the week. I accidentally flooded my kitchen. Nothing was permanently damaged. Luckily, we caught it early.
Yeah, well, at least you avoided
my mom
the damage.
slept through that entire ordeal. By the way, it was hilarious. Like no one else woke up for that except me.
Yeah. See, like I would be the one sleeping through stuff and not my wife. Just be the opposite.
I would be sitting there and I would look at it. I would flip it off. I'd be like, "Yep, that's for tomorrow, me."
No, I took care of it there. I was like, no, I gotta clean this up.
That is going to be way worse to deal with tomorrow than it would just be right now.
It's like, that's the tomorrow me problem. I'm going back to sleep.
Well, I'm glad you got it handled and taken care of, and you had a fun story to tell for the podcast.
I did. It was a good story to tell.
It's a good story. All right. So let's go ahead and move to topic one. And it feels like it's a reoccurring topic that we have to talk about. Conan Jones, what are we talking
about?
He disappeared.
Yeah, he disappeared. So this week, Ghost has already talked about taking kids to Solo and Ensemble. So it kind of... I thought we could talk about something like that. And then with eligibility, that's one thing that's always hurt my groups. Whenever we're going to stuff, and it always will be a thing just because high schoolers, but kind of a different twist along the eligibility route. is I need to type all this in. I had it in my brain, but I need to type it in. What are y'all's takes? Did y'all do solo and ensemble in high school? Like,
No.
Mage, did you do solo and ensemble ever?
Oh yeah, I was big in this whole ensemble and district band and all that stuff. I did all it all. I did it all.
Yeah. So, like, was that something that was required, or is that just like a hey, this is
Well,
here if you want to do it kind of thing?
well, when I joined my band program in sixth grade, the very next year, our band director got arrested for for diddling.
What the hell?
So
Why is this a
so so my seventh grade year, our assistant did stuff. So I was actually kind of like I was just kind of a go getter, and I kind of started it when we got a new band director. So I kind of like I was kind of the person that pushed it on my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
so I'm the one that kind of started it myself because I wanted to get awards and be the best and everything else.
Yeah. So, did you do mainly solos or ensembles or kind of both? Or
I strictly did solos. Now I had a bunch of friends that did ensembles and stuff, but I was a solo person.
yeah. So you never did anything like
Cool
that,
guy.
Ghost?
I no, I on man. I did just tri-state because we never really did any other things.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't hear about any of all of that stuff until like our school did a bunch of solo and ensemble stuff from like junior high. We might have even started in middle school going and on all the way up. Because I remember they made a big deal about if you did one every year or something like that, you got some sort of award for having like a 3-year medal or something like I don't know, some sort of carrot on a stick kind of thing for it.
Yeah.
But I remember
Yeah, I just wanted to get as many awards as possible to prove that I was the best.
Yeah. Well, see, I knew I was, so it is what it is.
I was
I didn't need any sort of validation for it, so I was good.
So like, um, as a director, what are your thoughts on solo and ensemble, or like outside looking in for Mage, since you're not a teacher?
All right. It is one of the stupidest things in the world that the kids have to have their music memorized to get a 1 to go to state. I do not understand what having your music memorized adds towards any sort of musical skills.
It's not all music has to be memorized. If it's
if it is not on the advanced repertoire list, it has to be memorized.
Right. So play something on the advanced repertoire list if you're against memorization.
No, I understand what you're saying. But it just when I have kids in a class A school and they're playing and the advanced repertoire list has stuff that's like from what I've heard people play in college, I can't really have kids play that in my little small town. And then it also throws them off to where if you want to get this like good, you need to get this memorized to go to state contest. It just makes no sense for the memorization. Like it adds no musicianal skill at all.
That's debatable. A lot of people think that
debate it then.
Well, all right. So memorization makes you learn the music by heart, and therefore, if you learn the music by heart, you can add musicality to it. And it's about musicality through memorization. That's why a ton of professional musicians memorize their music. A ton of singers memorize their music for that exact reason. So they don't have to focus on the music. They know the music by heart. They focus on their performance.
You can do all of that and still have your music in front of you. That argument made no sense to me. I completely disagree with everything you just said to me. You can still add all of that musicianship to it and all that stuff with it and still know your music. You can know your music and not have to look at the paper all the time, but having it to be memorized is ridiculous.
I see where both of you guys are coming from. I think a lot of it is, in Oklahoma's stance, is less of a, how do I word this? I have it in my head. I'm trying to just get it out of my brain. If a one at district, regardless if it was memorized or not, got you to state solo and ensemble would take for like a month to get through because of the entire state and everybody coming through. I think it's another level of difficulty, while arguably does or doesn't add to the musicianship. It's another level of difficulty that some people won't rise to.
Okay, but then if that's the case, it's adding an unnecessary level of difficulty. These are high school kids. These are ninth graders to 12th graders, 14 to 18-year-olds. These are not professional musicians that are memorizing their music to perform on stage for whatever symphony they're in, or whatever vocal singer is memorizing her music for opera. These are high school kids that have other things going on besides just music. Yes, music's important, but also like going to college and being good in your other classes is equally as important. It's ridiculous adding another level of difficulty because they don't want to just grade everybody.
I really don't think memorization is that hard. Like, I literally in ninth grade...
You played tuba.
I played tuba. I had a piece of music, and I memorized it in a day. The day before solo and ensemble.
But you're still playing music that's for your level of development. You're not going to give a senior in Broken Arrow the same kind of music that a freshman in Ghost Band is going to be playing. It's a totally different level of musicianship.
It's not about like the difficulty of the music. I mean, it's not hard to memorize music, though.
I disagree. I think it's difficult. It's just like everybody. Just like how everybody does differently. Everybody does music differently, with how they either like.
Because they play something on the advanced repertoire piece, like.
Okay, that shouldn't be the answer to it. That shouldn't just be like, oh, if you don't like this, then just play this super hard piece of music that college kids plays.
Well, I'm just saying
that should not be the
super hard piece of music has the same like. If you're having difficulties memorization, you're going to have the same practice time on the super hard piece that you do with the memorized piece. Like, if you're going to complain about practicing for the memorized piece, then you got to also complain about having advanced repertoire be a thing at all, because it's the same amount of practice time to play.
That's not the issue, though. The sheet is fine. It's built for more. The advanced repertoire is built for more people that's in 6A bands than it is for anybody else.
So you think getting to state should be easy?
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth.
But let's be honest here.
Words in my mouth.
If you're not going to memorize your piece, then you got to play something hard. If you're going to memorize your piece, then you can play something okay. Like, it doesn't have to be
I believe
state is an honor system. Like, if you want to get to state, put in the work to get to state. It's the same thing with athletes.
Fine. I can understand that.
It's the same thing with choir.
Can I talk, please?
No, not till you
Jesus
stop interrupting me.
You keep interrupting me for I can't get a word edgewise. All right. So now, to go back to your point. No, I don't think it should be easy to go to state. That's a ridiculous notion to even say. It should, yes, you should be requiring, but it should be based off of your musicianship and your skills into it. It should not be based off of memorization. And I'm not saying that you should pick like a super easy piece, whatever, go up there and play freaking Green Eggs and Ham or whatever. Okay? No, I don't think that at all. but I think you should be able to put in effort into a piece that's at the appropriate grade level that you're at, and be able to and show that you put the good amount of effort into it, to where like, oh hey, that's not memorized. That's fine. At state contest, yes, it should be memorized. I'll give you that. But for district contests to go to state, it is ridiculous for these kids that go to smaller schools have their music memorized.
I kind of think the small school thing is just an excuse. Like, yeah, larger schools have more has more resources to put into their students. But even if you put resources to a student, if the student doesn't practice or try on their own, then they're not going to succeed. Like,
well, that's on us as directors and to fit the right people that's going to do it.
No, I mean, I understand. Like, as far as the director goes,
because my three people that
are a big deal. But as far as like a student's musicianship goes, I think it's more dependent on the student than it is on their resources.
I agree with that. And the three students that I took the solo and ensemble were 2 8th graders and a 9th grader.
And yeah, that's great. They're not going to go to state anyway because state is for.
Yes, I know that. That's fine. But what I'm saying, well, what like for next year for the 9th grader that's going to 10th grade is an awesome clarinetist. Awesome. Like, he's going to be my first chair for 3 years in a row. Like, he's great. And I'm so mad. I lost my train of thought. Next year when I take him, I might have to pull something off the advanced repertoire sheet for him to play. So it doesn't, because the motion for it to have to be memorized is ridiculous to me.
Is it ridiculous to him?
I think so. I think it's ridiculous to a lot of people.
Is it ridiculous to him, the student? Sorry, I'm just trying to clarify.
Yes, I believe so. I mean, I haven't really asked them, but every time I told them, like, hey, this thing memorized, they would all look at me funny.
Have the kids in your school done?
No, this is the first time they've ever been to solo and ensemble.
Okay. So I've kind of been quiet for this one. I think I've kind of collected my thoughts enough to chime in.
All right, let's hear let's hear the motions of Conan Jones.
The voice of reason. Yeah. A second ago, Ghost, you had said something about like them if to play it on the musicality and stuff like, and that should be enough merit to get to state. So as a judge who is only judging low brass solos in one district of the state, how do you as the judge justify that yes, this was worthy of moving on, when as a judge in another district has somebody else that might not be grading off that same system? You know what I mean?
I mean, that varies by the judge. That's not my call for it. I mean, there's a set way set by OSAA to where you're supposed to judge and what you're supposed to judge off of. Now, not every judge bases it off of that, because there's judges that will come from different like universities that'll base every high school kid off of their college kid. That's kind of what happened last year when I was student teaching. That we had a woodwind. The lady judging the woodwind room was basing everybody off of how like a college kid would perform, and this was a 9th grade to 12th grade solo and ensemble. Correct. That I feel that is ridiculous. That a judge would come in there and base it off of. Excuse me. That would base it off of a college kid for these high school kids that have been playing from like 3 to 7 years, okay, give or take. I think it should be based off of each. I think it should they should be judged off of the grade level that they're in. Like, when I mean grade level, I mean like grade level the ensemble plays at. Like, I play with 2A music, so there should be something like that. in place, but they should also be placed. They should also be judged by their actual grade. Like a ninth grader and a 12th grader shouldn't be graded the same.
Okay. I got you. Kind of sticking on the judge side of this. Sorry. It's I had to judge a couple for did I have to do solo and ensembles? I didn't have to judge for solo and ensembles, but I've had to judge for honor band auditions.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are very difficult to rate for our district that we were in. The way that they had the papers set, I'm not sure if they came from OSSAA, if they were something else. Everything was just based on, like a 1 to 10 scale or 1 to 100, whatever, for musicality or notes or whatever the case may have been.
Right.
And you just kind of have to go with it, because in our particular instance, we were behind the screen and we had the music and we know what we're going for, so it's a little more cut and dry. But for a solo and ensemble where everyone is probably doing something different,
you have that basic standard of not having music, and that's easy to judge on.
You could hear, like, if someone's obviously put effort into this music or hasn't. Like,
True.
you can hear it.
Yeah,
like,
you can. You can.
Like, but
my deal is... So
I guess I just can't talk in my own guys today.
You do keep cutting out a little, so it's not all on me.
I guess it's Mage's turn.
Okay. So my deal is that solo and ensemble, you're not just playing to play music, you're performing. It's a performance. You don't expect a rock band to go up to perform a concert with their lyrics right in front of them. You don't expect a solo artist to come in and have everything laid out for them to play for you. That ruins the flow of the music for those concerts. You're not just playing music, you're performing music. And I don't think that when you're talking about performing, that's ridiculous to have an 8th grader memorize In the Hall of the Mountain King for one performance. Or a 10th grader to memorize Aaron Beret. Those are not hard pieces to memorize. Like,
you are literally comparing an 8th grader to a professional musician.
I'm not.
That's literally what you just compared them to.
I'm saying that it's a similar style. You're performing. I'm not saying they need to perform at the level of a professional musician.
But
having them experience the same type of thing that a professional musician does is good knowledge to have.
Experience that at state contests. That's fine. I could understand that, having it memorized at state contest to get good scores there. I am fully in agreement for that. Having it fully memorized at state contest, I fully agree with that. When you're at Stillwater's stupid campus, that's stupid and ugly, and you go up there and there's stupid everything, having it memorized, perfectly fine. Whatever. I don't care. But you cannot sit there and go and talk about these professional rock bands, and other professional musicians, and then drop an 8th grader and telling them they need to perform like that. That is
they
ridiculous.
Don't need to perform like that.
That's literally what you said.
I'm not saying they don't need to perform the music that those professionals are performing. I'm asking them to memorize the music in the same way that a professional musician memorizes their music. It's one aspect that I'm asking about.
Oh my God, Mage.
You are acting like I'm completely in the wrong here, but
yes, because you are. It's not a valid argument.
Just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean I'm wrong.
No, because you're comparing.
I'm not over here demeaning your argument. I'm just saying I don't agree with it.
Okay.
You never did solo and ensemble. I did. I knew the experience. I put in the work. You could still get a 1 in solo and ensemble in district without memorizing music. You just didn't go to state. That's the only difference.
Here's what I'm telling you. Okay? You cannot sit there and compare professional musicians to 8th graders. That is a ridiculous notion. You cannot sit there. You say that you're not comparing it to it because when you first started this argument 5 minutes ago, you got up and jumped and said that rock bands perform their music without their music in front of them.
No,
listen.
I'm listening.
And then you jumped in there and said that singers and other professional musicians don't have their music in front of them. And then you said the same thing, that 8th graders should be expected to do that. They're 8th graders.
Yes. Yeah, 8th graders are expected to memorize their music. It's one piece. It's a memorization. I'm not asking the 8th grade to perform like a professional musician. I'm not even asking the 8th grade to perform like a high school musician. I'm asking them to memorize like a high school or professional would memorize. You're taking my words completely out of context, Ghost.
Because your words are making almost no sense. Respectfully.
Respectfully, you're not listening to my words. You're hearing what you want to hear.
I'm hearing you compare professional musicians to 8th graders. That's what I'm hearing.
Conan, am I comparing professional musicians to 8th graders?
Okay, so in a way you are, but in a way you aren't. So you're comparing them to professional musicians in the sense that is what would be expected of them later. That as you get further along and as your musicianship improves, that will be asked more and more of you. So as a younger musician on a relatively easier piece, the memorization at that level should be easier than it would be at later levels. If you can't do it with an easy piece, why do you think you should be able to do it with a bigger piece? If you're going to go to state and have the memorization be required there, if you can't do it 2 weeks before for district, why add that extra deal in the 2 weeks coming into state? You know what I mean?
Thank you, Conan. You put my words way more elegantly than I did. But that was the same point. That was the point I was trying to make.
Ghost?
Okay, well, you made it in a bad way, and Conan Jones had to fix it.
I'm the fixer. Yay. So.
God bless. I hate this podcast.
All right. I feel like we probably talked on that one quite a bit already because we're sitting at 43, 50.
Jesus,
44.
we talked about that for 30 plus minutes.
By talked, you mean yelled and argued.
Yes, we argued about it for 30 minutes. We could have argued about this last night, but no, Mage had the Buffalo Wild.
I forget that
That's right.
You guys have friends outside of, I guess, Mage.
Anyways, all right, let's jump to topic 2.
All right, let's go for it.
All right, so Anthem came out, 2 weeks ago? No, it was a week ago. Anyways, the sales numbers have been garbage for it. I'm not going to lie. But I've been enjoying the game. It's been really fun to play. I've been playing as the Storm. It's this, it's the character that throws out a bunch of spells. It doesn't really shoot its guns that much. It's just like a caster. I'm like a wizard pretty much. It's cool. It's a lunar shooter game, just kind of like it's a third person Destiny, pretty much. It's the best way to put it for those people that's not used to lunar shooters. So there's like a grinding aspect to it. There's a party system with it. You can only have 4 people in a party, so it's kind of okay. I don't know. They don't have much in-game activity yet. But just to get just to start from the beginning of it, there's 4 different classes you can be. It's Ranger. That's more of like the overall character. Like it's just I haven't really played as any other besides Storm.
Is that the
But
one that was in the demo?
yes, that was the one in the demo.
Okay.
Then there's Colossus, which is a big old tank, pretty much. It's the strong
Hulkbuster.
Yeah, Hulkbuster one. Yeah. So then there's the Interceptor, which is like kind of like the way I describe it is like a robot ninja is pretty much because it could like jump and like do all these like cool spins and stuff, and then it's like it's primarily for like up close combat, and then like it dashes away. It's really cool. It's a really cool concept, and then Storm's like a wizard pretty much, and that's what I like playing as with and I got these I got these 2 masterwork things for my abilities that on my L1 I like do this AoE freeze, and then on my R1 it's a hold and charge to where I do this like big old fireball, and it does a bunch of damage. That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
It needs some flex tape with it. So but yeah, I've been it's a tale of 2 games, I'll be honest with you. When the servers are working and you're able to play with friends, it is a really good game. It is fun to play with friends because you can line up your combos better, and you could just do a bunch of damage, like just destroy people. But when the servers aren't working and you get kicked from just trying to load into a mission, and then or if you're playing it solo, it's an awful game. Like, I dread playing this game by myself because people are dumb. People just don't do things that they're supposed to. You get trolls in there sometimes that just there's like these in some missions there's like this collectible thing you got to go get and then come bring it to a certain spot, and they'll just go get the thing and hold it and then just go wherever. So then you have to wait 5 minutes for the thing to respawn, and then hope to God you get it before the other dude. It's dumb. It makes me mad when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they ever fix the loading times?
Kind of. It's a little bit better, but not much, to be completely honest. I could deal with loading time. I want server stability is my biggest thing.
That is too much to ask for. You need to be realistic in your wishes.
Yeah, realistic, like wanting a complete game for $60.
No, it's EA. You're not going to get that.
I just don't understand how games can be released without stable servers, especially when it's a multiplayer game. Like, WoW has been out for years, and it's always had decent servers.
Decades,
I don't know.
So sometimes where servers have gone down, but I get what you're saying with it. Like I remember whenever Wrath of the King, whenever Icecrown Citadel finally opened up, it was buggy, and then it caused the whole servers. And I think the servers were down for a week. But for compensation for it, because WoW's a subscription-based thing, we all got a free month of game time. So
they screwed up, but they fixed it.
Yeah, and then they gave us game time for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like on top of that, like those games are really old. So you think the technology would have improved some by 2019.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it's a big game, but come on, if you're building a game for multiplayer, make sure you can play it multiplayer before you release it. Like, come on, EA.
No, I agree completely. It's It's a bit ridiculous that these servers are this bad.
I still am not a huge fan of the always online kind of thing. Like, there should be a separate thing for if I'm playing co-op online with people, or if I just want to play a solo.
Yeah.
I'm a big like solo person. Like, if I'm gonna buy a game, I want to be able to play it by myself in a story mode. Like,
Yeah, I also miss couch co-op where you could just have friends over and play.
Yeah. I don't. I love online because I'm not a social person, but I'm cool with like playing online people. Yeah. Like, I've made friends from across the world with just online stuff, but would I ever have any of them? Probably not, because I don't like people that much.
Yeah. But like it's cool to have that option to play online. But when it comes down to it, I feel like if I'm paying that much for a game, I should be able to play it without having somebody else there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree. That's just me, though, I guess. Or
like, unless like take. The game was built purposely for it being co-op.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was it, like A Way Out?
Was that a prison escape game?
Yeah, but it was awful.
Because I remember we were talking about playing that, but then it was not very good.
Yeah, then it was bad. It was let's not waste money on this.
But the aesthetic was that it was meant for two people to play it.
Yeah.
For something like that, that's totally understandable. Because
Well, I mean, Anthem is meant for 4 people to play it. Every time you do a mission or you're in a free play or anything like that, you always get grouped in matchmaking. So Anthem is meant for a 4-party thing all the time.
Yeah. And I think
but the thing is with that is like you're online and they need to troll proof it if they're going to have that.
It's impossible to do
that. If you figure that out, you could probably talk to any game development company in the world and just be the next Jeff Bezos and just be rolling in the dough.
No.
I mean, I think the easiest way to like fix some of those issues is like, they force you into a party of 4, but make all the puzzles be able to be done by one person in case you get a troll or something like that.
In this particular instance, it makes sense because, like Go said, this game was built with that whole mechanic in mind and that gameplay element. It's not the game that would have a single player story. So personally, myself, I wouldn't probably get into it as much as I would something else I can just do with myself on my own time whenever I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of the games that I enjoy playing. But the demo wasn't bad. Like, I don't know, I didn't enjoy it enough to be like, yes, I have to spend $60 on this to have it right now. But
yeah,
I think because from the reviews I've watched of it, like it was saying kind of the same thing that you were saying, Ghost, where like the gameplay was great. It's just it has like these issues that are really hard to get past.
It's more like just if they would just have server, I could look past a lot of things with this game. And I haven't made it to like complete in-game content yet. My character's like pilot level 30 and my storm is like 431 right now. It's like I could do Grandmaster 1 activities. I haven't made it up to Grandmaster 2 and Grandmaster 3, but from everything that I've heard with it is that it's almost kind of pointless to do Grandmaster 2 and Grandmaster 3 because there's not really that much of a loot enhance the drop.
Yeah.
So I've just been grinding out level 1 or Grandmaster 1s. And I got lucky with my first 2 masterworks that they combo off of each other really well. So I can just do cool stuff. It's really fun.
That's cool. It just sounds like they need to do a lot of quality of life updates.
No, yeah, they do definitely. I agree with that.
Which hopefully that's something
Server
they have
fixes.
planned out, and that's something like a longevity fix, and not. Which in a perfect world you'd be like, yes, I need all this right off the bat. But I think with the way the game is laid out, being always online, it's always evolving. Like hopefully they've got a game plan and will grow into it, kind of thing.
Well, you never know. It is EA. They might be like, we're making plenty of money. Whatever.
A healthy skepticism.
Well, they did start making a bunch of money because of Apex.
Yeah, Apex is doing pretty good.
I need to spend some more time with Apex.
Conan, you don't like any game that's like multiplayer, so you're not gonna like Apex.
I played a couple rounds of it, and it's like, it was that weird. I don't know where I'm going. Like I get the point of what I'm doing, and you've got to find the stuff, but I didn't know the map. Like that was one deal. I remember whenever we'd always do whenever we'd buy Call of Duty, I would go through and run around through the maps in like a test run, more or less, just so I knew the layout of the map. But
yeah,
you don't really have that option. You're just like, oh, okay, here you go. Oh, you're dead. Oh, you're dead. Oh, you have no idea what's going on. Screw you, you're dead. And it's like that's the part of it that's infuriating.
I mean, you can't just jump in there and expect to like be good at the game.
Oh yeah,
playing a couple matches.
Yeah, no, I'm not expecting that. I would like to have a better grasp of what's going on instead of just getting wrecked by some 14-year-old and getting teabagged. And it's like
they have that 14-year-old talking about how he's going to bang your mom or something.
Yeah. That's the part of it. It's just like, I'm glad I didn't spend any money on this because this makes me want to just jump off of this.
Well, I mean, it's free to play, so I mean, you didn't really.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's the redeeming quality for me.
Free is always a redeeming quality.
Always a plus.
I love that word, free.
I am glad that they're starting to put out more games. I feel like we've kind of come full circle because with all the microtransactions and that, but they've started just having the games be free and charging for other stuff instead of charging for the game.
I'm fine with that. Like, if they release free games like that, then for you to look cool, you need to drop $20. You know, that's fine. I'm not gonna do it because I don't care about looking cool. But
yeah, I mean, League adopted that like back in 2008 when it came out.
League of Legends.
But I mean, like,
it's still being played.
The gameplay was pretty solid, and you could play the game completely for free. You just pay to look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also have to pay for the. That's the thing I hate most about League of Legends is that you have to like. The champions just aren't already unlocked like how it is in Dota 2.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I feel like at the very least they should have some kind of like package or something where you like just drop $20 and you get all the champions.
Well, I mean, they had that, but there was just so many of them that they had like that beginner pack that had, 20 or however many. But that's also your grind currency. Like, that's your reason to keep going. So you can, because you don't have to spend any money. You just have to grind it out to get the essence to get the champions and stuff.
League of Legends isn't a fun game to just sit there and grind. Like if you're playing with friends, I mean, yeah, but
the same could be said for anything else, just depending on your personality and stuff. But it just as a concept, I think the concept is working and is doing well. Unfortunately, brought on by Fortnite, but I mean, I think it's kind of getting.
Did you see that Fortnite's copying everything from Apex?
Really?
It's copying the pinging system that Apex has.
Yeah,
and it's also bringing in the revival thing that Apex has.
Of course, it is.
Like
Fortnite.
Like the battle bus revive or something, where you could jump to another. If you die, you could jump down to another battle bus or whatever. Stupid. I hate Fortnite so much.
I mean, it's not enough for them to copy the dances of other people. They have to
Yeah, but you
copy
can't.
gameplay from other people too.
You can't copyright a dance. That's been taken to the Supreme Court before. So,
all right, there's your Anthem talk.
yeah.
Cool.
Anthem's fun. It's 8 out of 10 when the servers are working and you play with friends. When it's not and you're playing by yourself, it's a 3 out of 10. There's a big difference.
Review from Mr. Ghost.
Yep. Where are we at with time?
We just passed the hour mark. We're at an hour 1.
Oh, fun. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our wins of the week. Imperial Mage, what is your win?
Well, my win is that I had some stocks that were given to me as a child when were put in for me as a child for a college fund, and but I was never able to get into them because they required a custodian to sign them off, kind of a deal. And before I got to college, all my custodians died, and so the stocks were kind of in limbo. So I spent a good month trying to get those stocks out just now, just so that way it's just not sitting there.
Yeah.
And I finally got them.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I closed that account and everything else and got a big chunk of change on top of that. Don't have to worry about that account no more.
Yeah.
So you're going to reinvest?
Not right now, but I think eventually I will. It's
because I want you to reinvest into the Low Scale Gaming podcast.
Reinvested it?
Yes.
You can be our sponsor and we can do an ad for you.
I need to have a product to add. Like a...
you can start your line of... or whatever.
Start his line of what? You cut out.
You can start his line of air fryer.
There you go.
The Mage air fryer. Buy it out.
It magically fries. It magically fries.
It's just like a no-name brand air fryer that I put a Mage sticker on.
Yeah.
Mage approved.
Goodness.
We got to get our own merch.
There you go.
We should get shirts. Conan Jones, your mom should make us shirts. We could get matching shirts. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we got to make our own like characters and everything.
I mean, if we did, and we could, if we did like start selling our own merch, we have our own like merchandiser to make our shirts and everything. So I mean,
it's a possibility. It's there.
It's it's there. We just got to get the people that would want our shirts.
Yeah.
We got to get more audience members.
Yeah.
Goodness.
All right, Conan Jones. What?
Okay, so my win this week, I'm actually kind of stoked about. So, my fails almost every week are complaining about my junior high class.
Yep.
So last week I went to my principal and I was just like, "Hey, dude, like we've got to do something with this class because I've got too many kids in here that don't want to be here, that are poisoning the ones who either do."
They're poisoning the water.
Yeah, that either do want to be here or are on the fence about continuing on. And I was like, they're going to kill the program quicker than anything else at this point, because like I've done what I can do on the music side of stuff, but I can't teach anything because I spend the entire hour yelling at them for talking and being dumbs the entire time. So he was like, "Well, get me a list of kids that need to possibly relocate, and I'll kind of look it over and try to get something figured out for you." So I gave it to him, and he was just like, "All right, so all of the kids that you gave me, or most of them anyway, are already not doing well in other classes. So we'll just keep them over, and they can stay in their math classes and do like kind of math remediation, since that's one of those things the state tests for this year, or I don't know, something like that. So he came over. I think that was Tuesday that we talked. Wednesday, there was a whole bunch of drama that happened, so he was having to put out fires elsewhere on school. On Thursday, I'd probably say 3/4 of the junior high was gone to a track meet. So I had like 10 kids in class anyway. And then Friday, he came across and called those kids and was like, "Hey, you're coming over here." And
you're coming with me.
Yeah. So everybody was like, "Oh no, are they in trouble? What's going on?" And he was like, "I didn't say they were in trouble. I just said they're coming with me. Did I call your name? No, then shut up." And I was like, "Oh, I love you so much."
Did he tell them to shut up, really?
In the nice professional principal way.
Oh, what a good principal. What a good principal.
Yeah.
It should have been like, "Shut your earthen mouth.
Yeah.
It's not about you." I was like, all right,
he's like he's my favorite, man. But I
got replaced.
He just told him, he told me that he was telling them that was indefinite until they're told otherwise, that they're to stay over there and not come back over here. So that was in the middle of class on Friday. So everything was already kind of crazy and I had already lost them. So by the time that they had left, it's kind of hard to judge because, but now this coming week, we'll kind of see how that is going to play out. And if we're actually able to get, now I'm just like, okay, I'm actually excited and want to stay around for this class and not just totally hating the day, knowing that it's around the corner.
Oh, dude, that's how I feel about 4th grade.
Yeah. So yeah, there's my win. All right, so Ghost, what's your win this week?
Oh, my win is I have three great young players that I took to Solo and Ensemble, and we went for comment because I didn't have anyone to accompany, but 2, I just wanted comments just so they could build on for the future for next year whenever we do this. But I had 3 kids, and I mean it's intense going to do this, especially at a big school. I kind of didn't think about that doing this, that taking these kids that have grown up in rural Oklahoma all of their life to a big 6A school that's bigger than the mall that they're going to. So, hindsight, probably shouldn't have done that, but we're here. We made it. We did it. I'll get the comments back on Tuesday, but everything went really well.
Good.
Minus the ones excited for the future. But minus the ones that didn't show up.
Good. Well, I'm glad it went well. Other than that, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
So let's go ahead and move into question for us for this week. We were supposed to get it last week, but all right. So this one's from our friend Austin. He asks us, how do you get students interested in band and music? And how do you keep them from leaving each semester and year, especially in a small school? I also came from a small school, and it was either stick with band or play sports. So how do you guys promote your program and keeping the kids interested with it?
With my current situation, I don't have to recruit because 6th, 7th, and 8th grade is required, and I'm stuck with you regardless. After we kind of make these changes, hopefully next year 6th and 7th will still be required, and then 8th grade they'll have some choices. But I think by that point of having at least 2 full years of required band, they're like, okay, this is actually kind of cool and actually kind of having fun.
Right.
With my old school, the mentality towards the band was that it was cool and fun, and that they did fun things.
What are you doing?
What?
It's just they're making a lot of noise.
What?
It sounds like
me, really?
Yeah, it sounds like you're like starting a chainsaw or something.
Yeah, like
is it still doing it?
No, it's done
not
now.
Anymore.
But
I don't know what that was.
Okay, I have no idea.
Interrupting.
I'm looking at Austin's tweet.
Okay, I just thought I was going crazy, but sick. Mage, stop interrupting me.
So sorry, Conan.
That's his job in this podcast.
The interrupter. But the old school, the mentality towards the band was that it was a cool thing to do. They got to do all this other stuff, like, we would do the big trips every other year, so that was kind of a carrot to dangle. Plus, they got to perform at the football games and perform at the different stuff and go. They get to miss some school to go to honor bands and to rehearsals and auditions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For retention for my current gig, I mean, for a small school, fighting with sports is going to be a problem no matter where you are, and you're gonna lose kids. It makes me feel better. Well, how do I say this? There are kids who are band kids, and there are kids who are not band kids, and you're gonna lose some regardless. So I think it's worth the fight to try to get the ones that could be band kids. But having the mentality of the school towards the band being positive goes a long way towards that, because there are some parents who are so totally against band because of negative connotations that they have because of when they were in school.
Yeah.
That you're not going to change the parent's mind. You can change the kid's mind way easier, but honestly, parents are probably the bigger detriment to that mindset.
Right. Well, my biggest way of doing it is that hopefully I get it approved, but I really want to take my kids to the Heartland Music Festival, like start it being like an everyday year thing, to where we go and we go and play our contest pieces again, but then we go like to Frontier City, and spend a day doing that. And I mean, that's a fun, rewarding thing for them to do.
That's something that not every other group on campus gets to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to do band stuff, but then you also get to do the Frontier City thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my way of doing it. And also, like, I'm really like, my classroom, other than like the past couple days where I've been like super intense about contest and getting ready for contest, my classroom, I would like to say my classroom is fun. Like I like laughing around. I like having a good time. That doesn't mean that they're not disrespectful to me about it, but I like having a good time. I like having interaction with my kids to make it seem like I'm not just a zombie,
Yeah, no, I got you.
I think that's always important.
That's my biggest thing, is to show that I have some form of personality. It's probably unprofessional of me, but we talk like when we're like packing up, or like we're rack and stack in the room, and they start talking about Fortnite or something. I tell them Fortnite's trash and Apex is better. And it's the biggest thing to get them all riled up about it, because how much they all play Fortnite and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might be kind of unprofessional, but
no, it's dumb stuff like that shows that you're not just another adult. Like,
yeah,
you actually have interests that are shared with them. That I want to do the band thing, but I'm also a real person that plays video games outside of school and stuff.
It's like almost every night I'm on my PlayStation, guys. Like almost every night. I have another. I forgot, but anyways, that's kind of my biggest thing, is I show my kids that I'm an actual person, and that I can have fun and everything like that. Mage, what's some things you would do?
I mean, when I was in band, one thing, I mean, I didn't really need a whole lot of motivation to stay in band. Both my parents are musicians and everything else, and I really enjoyed playing my instrument.
Yeah.
But the benefits for being in band was always a big proponent to me. Like, being able to go on activities and do honor bands and solo and ensembles and getting out of school for the days and stuff.
Right.
Those are a big deal to me. Like that's one thing on top of like all the other stuff I did that was like, oh, I just can have fun doing this.
Yeah. And as an adult looking at it, you're like, that's not what it should be about, but putting yourself into the shoes of a middle schooler, junior high, like early high school to keep them involved, you kind of have to have those carrots on a stick. That
yeah, like, hey, you get to go out of school and do these activities and stuff.
Like if you practice really hard,
like,
you can play this Bach chorale like really well, and it's like, you know, that's not appealing to a kid or to most kids.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was interrupting you on that one.
I got you. That's fine. He's been getting. He's got some interruptions owed. It's okay.
Says Ghost. Like,
this is my podcast.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think we're good. Thank you guys very much for listening. You can follow us on our social media: Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify at Low Scale Gaming. You can follow me at Ghostland's Finest on Twitter, YouTube. The Facebook one's kind of dead, but just Twitter and YouTube. I interact with people all the time. And then follow Conan Jones on Twitter and YouTube. He's got a couple more YouTube videos up about his roller coaster tycoon stuff. And follow Inferior Mage on his Twitter. He doesn't have YouTube, but
yeah.
But all right, well, if you're gonna send us a question, you could go ahead and send us one shoot us a tweet or an email at lowscalegaming@gmail.com. But thank you guys again, and remember, have a great day and have a better tomorrow.